Hey guys, Lana here from One Small Step Business Coaching, and today on the video blog I wanted to share a little more with you guys about my personal sales journey. I did a video on this a few weeks ago and I kind of realized it needed to be a two-part video because I was talking too much. So I wanted to share the second half with you today, and most specifically I wanted to share with you guys the things that I learned along the way, and yeah, in the second half of my sales career that I really wanted to pass on to you guys because it's made all the difference for me in my small business. So one of the most important things, and probably the most important thing to be fair, is I want you guys to know how to do sales your way and be kind of okay with that, but more than that, just embrace it. So what I mean by doing sales your way is know your strengths. So knowing your strengths as a person, and as a, you know, whether you're somebody that's working for somebody else or whether you're a small business owner, you need to know what your personal strengths are. So what your communication style is, how you relate to people, because if you can kind of get in that pocket where you're really kind of comfortable and engaging with someone else on a really genuine level, then it's going to just come across so much better. And building rapport is one of the most important things in sales. And, you know, that's not going to happen if you're not engaging with someone in an authentic way. So, yeah, I mean, that was a funny lesson for me because, like I said in my last video, when I first started in my sales career, I was 20. And I was working in a really male-dominated industry and in a male-dominated company. So I did for a while feel like I had to do sales in their way, you know, in the way that I guess I felt that the company I was working for and yeah, even the industry defined success in a certain way. But I worked out pretty quickly that, you know, playing the game by somebody else's rules, you know, it wasn't going to work for me. So I knew that, you know, what I did best was people. You know, and that's really what sales is all about. But in my mind, I needed to frame it in a way that I felt good about, so I could really kind of get out there and engage and be passionate and excited about what I did. Because one of the things I see a lot out there, you know, even with some of my clients and with other women, particularly in small business, they don't feel okay about sales. But here's a truth bomb: you have to feel okay about it, because if you don't feel okay about it, you're only going to be investing in one part of your business, and that's marketing. So if you haven't seen these videos before, I have clarified the difference between sales and marketing. And marketing, generally speaking, is one to many. So that's mostly all of your online stuff. It's not one-on-one. Sales is the one-on-one kind of selling of the brand or of the message or of the story. So if you're uncomfortable communicating with clients, communicating with potential clients, with people within your community in a salesy way, then you're going to run into problems. So number one, find a way to be okay about it. And I have something that we go through in the Sales Is Not a Dirty Word workshop, is really identifying what your reason is for being in business. Because, you know, we all have different reasons and most of us have more than one. But, you know, if you can kind of wrap your head around the fact that, you know, I am going to take control of my own success, I'm going to take responsibility for it, and I'm going to, you know, commit to moving forward in my business and learn what I need to learn about, you know, no one's feeling weird about learning more about social media, are they? No one feels weird anymore about, you know, sharing a bit more of themselves, say on Insta stories or something like that on social media. But guys, that's marketing, that's not sales. And I still think sales is probably the best investment you can make, because there's only so much you can do online. You can't reach out and have a one-on-one conversation with the customer through your computer screen or through your iPhone. So, you know, getting there and knowing how to really engage with people in a face-to-face way is just one of the best things you can do. So number one is do sales your way. Know what your strengths are, and as I said, not only knowing what your personal strengths are, but know what the strengths of your brand are. So knowing your market is really critical here. Know what the strengths are of your product or service. Communicate the benefit and link link you know, the features of your product or service to the benefit. Don't stress the pain points. I see this all the time, in particularly on the kind of you know, lead funnel model on websites, where you get to the page and you have all of your pain points highlighted on the page. I don't know about you guys, but I really don't like reading about the things that make me feel, you know, stressed out or in pain. Not like literally in pain, but, you know, don't highlight my pain points. When you're talking to me, don't be like, oh, Lana, are you really stressed? Yeah, I've got the perfect product for you. That's not what it's about. It's about, you want the positive, highlight the positive. So, and that's something, if, you know, any of my clients are watching this video, they'll know that that's something I say all the time. Highlight the benefit, don't highlight the pain point. Yeah, it's okay to mention it, but don't sell the pain point. And also, just the most important thing, I guess, even with marketing, is really understanding what your client is going through, or what your potential customers are going through. So understanding their world, understanding what makes them tick, understanding, yeah, their pain points, but also how you can add value to their life, how you can really kind of make them feel something. You know, that's a sales skill. And the thing about sales is, it's actually mostly listening. If you're, you know, standing in front of someone, whether it's, you know, again, a potential client, or if it's like at a networking event or whatever it is, and you're doing most of the talking, you know, it's probably not going to, I don't know, bode that well for your future relationship. Because the key to really developing a long-term relationship with somebody, and this, you know, applies as much in your personal life as it does in your professional life, is making the person that you're speaking to feel heard and understood, and making them feel like you really get what's going on in their world, and that it means something to you. I mean, you need to make them feel like you really care about their business, and of course you should really care about their business, but you need to make them feel, you know, feel something when they're talking to you. So building rapport is, as I said before, just a massive part of sales, and we'll dig into this further in my Sales is Not a Dirty Word workshop next month at the Small Business Lounge. Building rapport is massive, and again, it's actually less about talking. Building rapport is, I think, 60%, communication is 60% nonverbal. So that's stuff like body language, eye contact, mirroring is a really important thing, particularly in the sales arena. You know, just, yeah, really little subtle things that the brain picks up on that makes them think, yeah, I'm really in sync with this person. They really understand what I'm trying to say to them. Women, you know, we tend to make ourselves really small, like physically, as well as, you know, maybe we don't speak up as much as we'd like. Maybe we're not as direct as we should be sometimes. So there's lots of little tips and tricks that I want to give you guys at the workshop. But back to my own personal story, yeah, my first lesson was really understanding that I didn't have to do sales in a way that wasn't authentic to me, and in fact I would excel far more if I did sales in my own way. So I really did a bit of soul searching about the things that I love doing kind of in life, not just in the role that I was in at that time. And yeah, and you know, the ways that I communicate with people, the ways that I build rapport with people in my personal life, and it's just the same in your professional life. And I mean, I tend to think that if you're one person at work and you're a different person out of work, then, you know, that's going to be really hard to maintain. Quite exhausting, to be honest. So yeah, really, you know, when you think about developing your sales style, don't feel like you have to become more direct, or you have to become more pushy or more aggressive in how you approach people. It's really not about that at all, but you do need to come across, you know, that you believe in what you're talking about, you're passionate about it, and you really do know what you're talking about. So preparation is really key when it comes to sales. And guys, this all applies in a B2B, so business to business, or B2C, business to consumer environment. I mean, it's all, you know, kind of the same stuff. So yeah, really understanding who you're talking to. And this is particularly important when it comes to collaborations. I mean, when you approach somebody, and whether that is face to face or on the phone or via email, when you approach them because you might want to collaborate with them, don't just send them an email and say, hey, you know, I'd love to collaborate with you. Here's what I do. Get in touch if you're interested. No, approach them. Do your homework before you even approach them. Understand what is their brand about. I mean, you should be doing your homework anyway, because, you know, you want to understand if their brand and their business aligns with yours, because your target market and their target market might be looking at this collaboration and might think, oh no, that doesn't really make sense to me. So you've got to do your homework first, and then when you approach them, you know, say like, oh, I've been watching your stuff for a while. I really love what you're doing. You know, the way that you highlight this, or the way that you do this, or talk about this, whatever, you know, make them understand that you've done your homework. And you say, this is what I think we can do together. You know, you've got to approach it from, again, the angle of selling the benefit. Don't just be like, well, you know, I'd really like to work with you, because chances are, if you're approaching somebody, in a collaboration, it means, you know, it means that you do love their work and you want to leverage off of their target market or their exposure or whatever it is. You know, it should be a win-win relationship. So don't go into it with no kind of idea about how you can make it happen. And that kind of one-on-one approach, having the confidence to be like, well, this is me, this is my brand, this is my business, and this is why it's awesome. This is, you know, this is what I do. Having the confidence in being able to communicate that, it really does come down to sales. But again, you've got to do it in a way that makes sense to you. So also just want to briefly mention networking. I mean, it was something that, you know, as a salesperson, you do need to, I think, again, take responsibility for that part of your skill set. I'm now quite comfortable walking into a room when I don't know anybody. And again, so much of it comes down to non-verbal communication. So having lovely open body language, have a big smile on your face. Don't be too pushy, because people don't like it when there's someone marching up to them with, you know, an extended hand or a business card. I mean, that's the worst. So be open, be warm and friendly, but kind of, yeah, don't be pushy, just be approachable and lovely. But yeah, when someone comes up to you, you know, don't be afraid to sell yourself a little bit, and not in a cheesy way. This whole thing of cheesy and sales, like it's something that I can't wait to, you know, it's kind of my new mission to jump in and dispel this myth, because it doesn't have to be that way at all. And if you are feeling like it's coming out of your mouth and you don't feel comfortable with it, then chances are it's not coming across that well either. So, you know, have a think about what you want to say. Have a think about the things that you do in your business that are really valuable and important and kind of life-changing. You know, I can think of so many different, you know, product-based businesses or service-based businesses. Lots of them are my clients. And they do affect people's lives, you know, so much of being successful in business, I think, is really plugging into that emotional experience. You are trying to create an emotional experience for your customers. You're trying to add value to their lives. So when you're talking to people about your brand or your business, well, your brand and your business, you need to tell them about that. That's what you need to tell them about. And really, if you don't know what the kind of diamond at the heart of your business is, then you gotta find out, because that is the stuff that will really make people go, oh wow, that's amazing, that's like so valuable, and they can instantly see why what you do is great. And then people go into a secondary zone where they're like, oh wow, well, I don't need that right now, but I know someone who does, and I can connect them to you. And hey guys, that's word of mouth, you know. So I can't stress enough how important it is to really, really kind of understand this whole piece, make it work for you. Don't be scared of it, take ownership of it. And we're going to dive into all of this stuff a whole lot more in the Sales is Not a Dirty Word workshop. And I could just keep talking and talking, but I won't. So I want you guys to please, if you'd love to have some more info and just build your confidence and build your kind of sales message, because don't forget, it's all got to be aligned with your brand and your values and everything like that for it to make sense to your customers. If you want to come along to my workshop, I would love to have you. You can tell I get really excited about it, so it's not going to be a boring workshop, I promise. Head to the events page on my website, or you can check out the event page on my Facebook page, and yeah, it is next month and I would love to see you there. Okay, thanks. Have a great weekend. Bye.